And welcome, Hoosier fans, to another disappointing, aggravating, inconsistent edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Purdue. Part 2, you should say. Man, what a game. I think one of the bigger things that we can learn about this team is just how consistent with inconsistency. We've tried to figure out where the scoring can come from this team. In the past, we struggled with that in a stretch of the season and kind of found it in stretches. Devontae Green at times, Iowa was that guy. A more rock-solid contributor in that sense has been Trace Jackson-Davis of recent. But that was taken away last night. Purdue, I hate saying these words, props to them for game plan. Painter, respect the heck out of him as a coach because he prepared the guys to play us. And their game plan of doubling early on our bigs struggled with that, what to do with that. And I think that hitting him early really threw Trace off of his game. And he was just, it was a freshman kind of thing for him to struggle with fighting through that. We had a few looks in the first half with that. Got through it. At least we were able to pass out of it and everything. And it looked pretty good at the beginning. It looked like it could be decent. We were playing good defense, and again, defense overall did a great job. This is a Purdue team that's kind of lived in a lot of their games that they've won from the three-point line, and we did a good job shutting that down. I mean, when they beat Iowa big time, I don't have those stats up, but it was because they were firing from three, and we kept them to 11% from three-point. And again, you look at this box score. There's been a lot of these types of games where you look at the box score and, take away IU's, but look at just the other team's box score. 57 points, shooting 37%, 11 from three, and turnovers, 11 turnovers. And you're thinking, yeah, that was a pretty good game. We must have, defense showed up and everything, so we definitely won that game. Then you have to go over to the IU stats. And shooting 25%, 15 for 59, and 20% from three, throwing up there 24. I believe some of that was a little bit of desperation at the end, throwing those threes up there, because we attempted 9 in the first half and 15 threes in the second half. So a lot of that, I believe, came from just trying to get back and trying to bury it because we weren't successful to get it underneath or successful when we had the ball underneath. But just, it's an aggravating one, we weren't favored going in. Obviously, I'll be honest, I wasn't feeling the greatest going into this one because Purdue's been on a little bit of a slump, and I knew they'd come home, especially. They play great in Mackey. Usually at home, the audience brings it. And the IU game, of course, they're going to bring it even more. So it's a tough environment to come in and play in. And the team that Indiana has that's been tough on the road throughout the year didn't have me feeling the greatest about it. And you saw that. You saw the audience get to it, I believe, a little bit. And you saw just struggle on that offensive side. Some balls missing completely, horribly. A few little bunnies that bounced around and didn't go in. So a few shots that could have, but didn't. Just, I don't know. It's one of those exasperating games. Just because when you can see that there's chances, when you can see that they could have, and those are the positives. You got to try to turn and look to the positives. And I know a lot of people are going to criticize. A lot of people criticize why I look at the positives in games like this. But I think that's what you have to do in these situations. You can vent, you can be angry at the beginning, but you got to be able to look back and see, what do we take away that's good, and separate that. What do we take away that's bad? Let's focus on the good. Let's attack the bad, and let's move forward. So looking at the goods you take from this one is obviously the defense. The defense did a good job game planning, take away the 3-point line for them. Did a fairly good job in the post. Travion Williams is just a beast underneath. He's a very good player, and able to, he still got his points, 19, and still had his way. A lot of guys had trouble against him. Again, that shows that he's just a big physical presence and has a good shot, and is able to was able to get in good positions on our guys. Race had, I believe, the best go at him. I wish I could have seen Duran on him a little bit more. Duran's minutes seemed a little limited. 8 minutes. He scored 1 point. Took one shot. So I wish we could have seen maybe a little bit more Duran. It was +4 when Duran was in there from that limited time, I guess. But they were able to score, so that's. But our defense overall again was good, so that's the positive. The other positive I'm going to take from, and it doesn't feel like this should be a positive in this game, but is the fight. Plenty of other games that we've had when it's been this hard to score, when it's been this hard to get back, we've given up. You've seen the team give up. And there were possessions, yes, where the team gave up, where we couldn't get underneath, and then we just kind of give up and pass it around on the perimeter, and then try to figure out how to huck one up at the end. But overall, this team didn't give up. There were many times that we got it back within 4 or 5. I think we maybe got into 3, as close as 3 at one point. But there were times that we got it close. We just could not put it away because the ball would not go in the hoop. What's the game of basketball? If you explain it to someone else, well, you take this basket, you take this ball, and you got this cylinder, and you put that ball inside the cylinder. Well, the basic explanation of basketball eluded IU last night. And that stings. That sucks. That's aggravating. But goodness gracious, guys, take this and grow. Take this and move on from it. We need to continue the fight at least. I mean, I'm going to keep saying that because that's what I've been harking on. If you go back to all the episodes this year that I've done of these, that's probably one of my biggest complaints, is not seeing enough fight in this team when they're down, when they're struggling. And I still think there could be more. I still think there could be that one, again, mark it off on your bingo sheet if you have a Hoosier Morning After bingo sheet, Bulldog player. There could still be that Bulldog player that's there fighting and scrapping. Because this team just doesn't show that emotion like that. But they still at least showed the fight. So I was happy to see that. Reese Thompson, getting more individually into guys. I think Reese Thompson had 21 minutes, so he handled a lot of minutes. He had the biggest plus-minus of the team, too. He was +6. So it shows that when he was in there, he was able to make a difference with a lot of those hustle plays. And maybe Race is starting to be my Bulldog. Maybe. Jerome Hunter, this was a game that I think I really wish he could have gotten going. Jerome Hunter's offense could have been good. I wanted to see, since we were struggling with getting our big guys to post up, I wanted to see Jerome try to post up. Let's clear out and get the big guy. Jerome try to post up against his guy, because he's had success when he's posted up against a smaller wing that's on him. Even a comparable size one. He's got a pretty good back down on guys. But he scored no points. Took 2 field goals and 1 3 and missed. So yeah, that's not good. That can't be with him. He's got to be able to find it. Rob, 25 minutes. I wish Rob would have had more minutes. He seemed like we needed him in there as a calming experience, calming thing to be in there for us. And wanted to see him be a little, again, I'm going to argue it 100 times. I wanted to see him be a little more aggressive too. Wanted to see him go after his shot. There was a time towards the end where him and Devontae started to turn it on a little bit. And I think if we get more of that type of thing, then it'd be a little bit more successful overall. If we get that sooner from them. But, I mean, he was 3 for 11. So, I mean, he was trying 1 for 6. Just behind Devontae's 14 3-point attempts was the last one. But, again, I myself, I'm not going to fault too much. That's who Devontae is. He's going to try to shoot it and get us back in. And I believe that was part of the game plan at that point, because you're going to try everything you can. And this is one of those games where you look at his attempts and everything, and you're going to curse it because he didn't make them. But you have to try to dangle him out there and see if he can get successful with it, see if he can get hot with the ball. Because if Devontae at the end there started to get hot, you win this game. Because, again, there was not that much time left, probably 3-4 minutes left. Again, I don't have everything up. Got frustrated and stopped taking notes during this game. But where a hot Devontae would have started to really set things off and would have gotten us closer and would have quieted the crowd, would have opened up things underneath for the big guys. It showed that lack of that making shots, and what it can be, how it can be detrimental to this team. Looking at other stats, 13 turnovers, not terrible. Steals, 7. Blocks, 7. So great, good stuff on that. Great play. And again, defensively, pretty good game overall. Just that. And as coach, watching coaches post-game talk, you could see it as well. One of the things that helped lose it for us was a terrible guard play to close out the first half. There was like a 6-point swing or so at the end where they made a few baskets, and we had live ball turnovers, just passing to no one, not paying attention, not being good with the ball. Bad ball handling, and that's the difference between being down 9 and being down 3 or so going into half. And had that been a 3-point difference, or 4 or under 5, I think, going into half, maybe found a little bit more energy going into the second half. But we started the second half a little flat and allowed them to get out to double digits. But then again, we fought back a little bit here and there, stayed strong on defense. We just couldn't get past those droughts that we normally have. And I think this is just a fact of life we have to deal with this team, and we have to be ready to cheer on and see who's going to step up offensively, because that's what we need. We have to have one person that can stand up and be that offensive wheelbarrow, I should say, carry the rest of the team, score those points. It gets contagious then from that standpoint, and the guys are able to figure out and ride that hot hand, because it throws defenses off, opposing defenses. So, I mean, we need to continue this fight. We need to continue to go after things, game plan. Trace needs to just demand that ball like crazy. Need to work on those double teams. We need to go into practice and work on what we do in those early double teams and how we pass through it, how we score through that, what we need to do about it. Because I believe it looked like a lot of the players and guards, once there was those double plays, were just kind of standing around because they're like, well, we're used to passing it to him, and then he takes care of the ball, and we just kind of stand around and watch, get ready for the rebound. Well, that doesn't work out. We got to be able to be ready for that and then keep moving and screening and find an open guy, figure things out from there. Justin Smith, 2 for 8, 4 for 4 on free throws. I mean, our free throws we did all right with. But rebounds, 37 to their 40. They had a lot of offensive rebounds. We did too, surprisingly. 16 to their 12. But the real kind of story in that sense is the points in the paint. IU had 20, and Purdue had 34. And a team that's best player is in the paint, and we don't win those numbers, it's not good. Second chance points, 16 to 13. Fast break, 7 IU for Purdue. 22 points from our bench and 12 from theirs. And again, 10 to 16 turnovers. Again, we won the turnover battle. And we won the second half by 1 point, 29 to 28. So, hey, it's a tie game, right? They won one half, we won another. Anyways, always aggravating to lose to Purdue. And frustrating because, again, this one was in hand. We could have tried to pull this one out, and we just couldn't. So get ready, move on, figure it out from there. IU quickly goes, relatively quick turnaround to Champaign, Illinois, playing Illinois on Sunday. That is a 2 o'clock tip on BTN for you. Illinois, again, has a very good team. They've been a pretty good team this year. I believe we can out-tough them. We got to stop off their their star guard guy. We've got to shut him down, and we've got to just bring it again. Let's get out of this. Let's feed the big man. Let's get Trace going. Let's support him. Let's find our shot again, and then we finish off at home, Minnesota and Wisconsin. So let's take these last 3. Let's go into the Big Ten tournament. Let's steal one as well there, and we look very comfortable for the NCAA tournament. So that'll do it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. Like, subscribe to the video here you see on YouTube. And then also, if you're listening to this replayed on one of your favorite podcasts, like and subscribe to those ones as well. Again, I try every day to put those up by the mid-afternoon. So your lunch break, your drive home, you've got a little bit more IU basketball to listen to. I know this one's probably not one you want to listen to much because it's a frustrating game. But hey, I choose to look at the positive and try to move forward. So thanks for listening, guys. Go Hoosiers. Go out there. Be a good Hoosier. Be a good person. Have a good one, guys.